Last month ended up being a pretty exciting time for Star Wars fans as we got two surprise announcements for two upcoming games at the Game Awards, Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic and Star Wars Galactic Racer. There have also been plenty of other games in development that many of us have known, but I haven't really seen anyone make a video yet compiling all the information that we have. Courtesy of Culture Crave, we have this great graphic here going through all the games that are currently in the works. We have Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic and Star Wars Galactic Racer, like I just mentioned. Then there is Star Wars Jedi 3 coming from Fallen Order and Star Wars Jedi Survivor. And then we also have Star Wars Zero Company, which I believe was announced at the Game Awards in 2024. Or maybe that was the Summer Games Fest. And then we also have Star Wars Eclipse, which was announced for sure like a couple of years ago at the Game Awards or Summer Games Fest. And then we also know of Knights of the Old Republic Remake currently in the works. And then there is the Star Wars game in development by Skydance, and that is being headed by Amy Hennig. So I've gathered a list of recent news and some past news just to condense it all together into one solid video. So when Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic was announced recently, everyone was super excited and super pumped, but then a rumor got spread that the game probably wouldn't be out till about 2030. And then we had Casey Hudson come out, the creator of Mass Effect and the original Knights of the Old Republic, come out and say that the game will be out before 2030 and he's not getting any younger. So that's super good news for Star Wars fans. It still is probably a few years out, but definitely before 2030. And we have yet to see any gameplay, but they did give us a great cinematic trailer. So I'm sure within the coming year or two, we probably will get a good solid gameplay clip. Next, we have Star Wars Galactic Racer, and that is being developed by Fuse Games, which I didn't know was founded by ex-Criterion devs behind Burnout and Need for Speed and Star Wars Battlefront 2 Starfighter mode. So this is definitely in good hands for what they're creating. We do know that there are some procedural elements to this game, so that means that no two races will be the same. And it also looks like you will be able to customize your speeder, and you may even have to change it per specific events and even to climb the ranks, because it looks like there will be a ranked mode. So far, we do know that there will be a solo campaign as well as multiplayer, and there will be multiple tracks at launch. There's not been any new leaks or recent news, obviously because the game just got announced, but I'm sure we will be hearing more within the next few months as the game is set to release this year in 2026. We don't really have any solid news yet for Star Wars Jedi 3. In fact, it doesn't even have a confirmed name yet, but we do know that it's been unaffected by the recent layoffs going on. This is currently still in production. It's rumored to be on Unreal Engine 5, and supposedly there's a 5+ year time skip from the last game to this one. There's obviously no release date yet, but the soonest release could be in 2027 based off the 4-year gap between Fallen Order and Survivor. I would definitely expect to hear some news either later on this year or at the beginning of next year. Correction, Star Wars Zero Company was actually announced at Star Wars Celebration Japan last year, and this is that single-player turn-based tactics game, and is actually being developed by BitReactor, which is actually founded by former XCOM devs. Star Wars Zero Company is set during the Clone Wars, where you're going to manage a squad. It has that solid tactics gameplay on a grid-based combat system, as well as off-map progression such as base building. The release has been confirmed for 2026, but still no release date yet, so stay tuned for that. If you remember for Star Wars Eclipse, we got that really interesting looking cinematic, and we still don't have a whole lot of news, but we do have some. Quantic Dream is very eager to show off more soon, so I'm guessing maybe at one of the next big game shows we will see something because we haven't heard from them recently. Filming has been taking place all the way through 2025, and new staff members have been joining the team every single week. This is very good news since we haven't really heard a lot, as I've mentioned, but it's good to see that they're still adding team members every week, showing that they're putting a lot of force behind this project. The long rumored and wanted Knights of the Old Republic remake got some news last month when IGN posted Saber Interactive's Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake is still reportedly in development, and KOTOR 2 remake may still be on the way as well, as it is still on the roadmap. This was from March of 2025, so things could have changed, but so far that is what we've heard. If these are still in development, I could see that the remakes would come out before maybe Fate of the Old Republic. However, that has no source behind it, but I'm just guessing that if they wanted to hype up Fate of the Old Republic, they would be releasing these remakes before that would come out. Lastly, we still don't have a whole lot on Amy Hennig's Star Wars game. This is the one being developed by Skydance. Although we haven't heard a whole lot, it does seem to be in good hands with Hennig, who is the creator and director of the first 3 Uncharted games. We do know that their other project that Skydance has been working on, Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra, has been delayed to 2026, meaning that most likely this game has been pushed back as well. It seems like they are much farther behind in development. However, not a lot is known about this project other than it's described as a narrative-driven single-player action-adventure title set in the Star Wars universe. But again, we have no gameplay, no trailers, no platforms even, or a release window. So if any of these games mentioned have been canceled, this is most likely the one. Well, that wraps up this video. I appreciate you watching and follow for more news.